Hello there, guys. And it looks like we've got a tier list on the screen. Today we'll be going over my first 25 platinums and ranking them from strong recommendation, recommendation, mid, bad, and avoid. And if I just scroll down here, I'll let you see all of the games that I'll be talking about today. So we've got Street Fighter 5, Fighting EX Layer, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 2, Medieval, Resident Evil 7, Sonic Forces, Days Gone, Persona 5, Resident Evil, the remake, remastered, Wolf Among Us, Control, Tekken 7, Borderlands the pre-sequel, Goat Simulator, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, Nitro Plus Blasters, Danger Scavenger, The Fractured Butthole, that's South Park Fractured Butthole, Resident Evil Village, Patapon Remastered, Soul Calibur 6, The Walking Dead Definitive Edition, or I think it's like the Definitive Series, Definitive Collection, Erica, and last but not least, my 25th Platinum, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Right, guys. I've already ordered these just at the bottom here from my first ever Platinum to my most recent, and if I scroll back down, so my first Platinum was Street Fighter 5, and my most recent was Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. So, let's get started with the first one, Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 5, on launch, it was a bit rubbish, but after the updates throughout its lifespan, it has been it's kind of had a kind of like a rejuvenation moment, and I would recommend this game if you are into fighting games, but it's hard to recommend if you're not into fighting games. The Platinum itself, I know on PlayStation profiles it says it's a 10 out of 10. I've been playing the game since launch and it wasn't too hard to Platinum. The only really difficult thing was the extreme survival mode, and you have to win 100 battles in a row with one life, and that can be a bit difficult. They've made it slightly easier with updates. Still pretty difficult. I would say this game is a recommend. I think it's a recommend. It's not too bad. It's not too bad of a game. It's not a strong recommendation just because I think only fighting game players would have enjoyment with this game. And that's about it. That's about it. Yeah, it's not mid. It's not strong recommendation. It's a recommendation. Now, this one is a tricky one, Fighting EX Layer, because this is actually one of my favorite fighting games from the PS4 era. And if it was me, I would put it in. I would put it in strong recommendation. I would. This is a really fun game. I looked at the trophy list just before pressing record, and there are some online trophies. The online for this game is pretty dead. But the online stuff itself, if you find someone that you can play with online, I think it's doable. I think it's doable. It's not too much of a grind, online trophy wise, compared to other fighting games. You know what? I am gonna put this as strong strong recommendation. Fantastic game. I just wish this game was more popular. I would be dropping every other fighting game if this game had a really active scene. So yeah. Resident Evil 3. Now, some people really don't like this game. Some people hate this game. Some people love this game. I'm in the camp that that loves it. Love is a strong word. Okay, I think it is a really good game. I was equally disappointed when I found out that certain areas were omitted from the game. So the most notorious one is the clock tower. That would have been such a cool set piece for the remake, but obviously it's not there. They replaced it with other stuff. I would still say this is a recommend. The platinum itself is really easy, so if you want an easy platinum, go ahead. But I would still recommend getting the game. It's still a fun game. I know people clown on this game, but it's still a good game. This is completely different to Resident Evil 2, however. Resident Evil 2, it's a strong recommendation. It's one of the best Resident Evils, period. Not the best. I still have my favorite here, and we will get to that one. But yeah, Resident Evil 2, phenomenal remake. One of the best remakes, in my opinion, just in general, of remakes. They did a fantastic job with this game. Yeah, there's really nothing much else. The platinum is fun. You need to replay the game, but naturally you'll be replaying the game for the different scenarios and playing as different characters. So depending if you start the game with Leon, you would want to then start the game with Claire to see what's different. Yep, overall fantastic game. I think it's a perfect length as well, not too short, not too long. The Resident Evil games in general, they are on the shorter side. People tend to forget that. Just because a game is short does not necessarily correlate with the quality of the game. So yep, still strong recommendation. This is a must buy in my opinion. It doesn't matter if you don't like Resident Evil. You should buy this. If you have any if you're hesitant, please don't be. You will really enjoy this game. Medieval. Now, this is a remake of a PS1 game from back in the day, and this is a really funny game. The writing and the voice acting is truly hilarious. The gameplay itself is very easy. The platinum's very easy as well. You might have to replay a few levels and maybe play through a game the second like a second time, but overall it's a really fun experience. Really fun. If you can get this on sale, this is a strong recommendation. Resident Evil 7. This again rejuvenated the Resident Evil franchise because Resident Evil 6 was kind of hot garbage. People like Resident Evil 6, but most people do not. But with Resident Evil 7, they're on form. Capcom is on form again with Resident Evil. So yep, and this kind of rejuvenated the series again. Strong recommendation. Sonic Forces. Oh god. I really wanted to like this game. I got this free on PS Plus, and yeah, the story itself not great. Some of the decisions that they made for this game, it's such a shame because there was a lot of potential here. This could have been a great Sonic game. The last great Sonic game was Sonic Generations. Well, I would say Sonic Mania as well, but from like the from like a kind of like a 3D kind of perspective, I think Sonic Generations was like the last hurrah. Sonic Forces, oh god, bad. It's bad. I was very tempted to put this as mid, but if I'm being honest, no, this is just a bad game. If I were to give a rating, it would probably be like a 4 out of 10. I know numerical values and numerical reviews are a little bit arbitrary, but that's just how I feel with this game. And yeah, there's the platinum itself is a little bit annoying as well. The SOS missions, not particularly fond of those, and also Ring King, that was extremely grindy. I do like parts of this game though. I like the kind of like the time attack and the high score kind of trophy related stuff that you needed to do. I thought that was genuinely enjoyable, but as a whole cohesive experience, it's bad. It's bad. I really wanted to like this game, but I didn't. Days Gone. Moments of brilliance with this game. Days Gone just falters when you think about the story. When you think about the story and when you start to unpack the characters within the narrative, it just falls apart, man. I love the realism. I love riding on the motorbike. I love that. I love the realism of repairing your motorbike with salvaged scrap, and refueling at like petrol stations, and seeing when you find gas canisters as well. I thought that was really cool. Fighting the hordes was amazing. Everything else was mid. So mid. I still need to do the DLC for this game. The challenge modes are actually quite fun. They're actually quite fun. It kind of turns the game on its head a bit, and it makes it a little bit more arcadey. I like that. There's some really difficult challenges though that I need to do. So and I need to play the New Game Plus DLC. So I think that will be fun. It will be fun to do. But yeah, it's just getting around to it. It's a mid. It's not a recommendation. It's not bad. It's not a bad game. Is it a good game? It's hard to say. So I'm putting it as mid. Persona 5, I don't need to tell anyone about this. Strong recommendation. I will be actually, let's quickly order this. So for now, I would probably put Persona 5 as the first strong recommendation. Yeah, this game's phenomenal. The platinum is harder compared to Royal, and I would say if you've not played Persona 5, I think just jumping straight into Royal is your best bet, because it's just the definitive version of Persona 5. But I played Persona 5 just base version first, and I love the game. It made me a Persona fan. The music is fantastic. The art style's there. The gameplay loop, I love it, love it, love it. The characters, I really like the characters. I like their vibe, their group dynamic. I love it. Yeah, just so many great things about this game. It's I could if I really wanted to make a whole video about it, as to why I love this game and why I am now a Persona fan, just because of this one game. When Persona 3 and Persona 4 gets ported over to PS4, you already know that I'll be playing those games. So, yep, fantastic. Now, okay, next game. Yeah, I'm getting a bit excited here. So I know we just ordered Persona 5 to the #1 strong recommendation spot. That was short-lived. Resident Evil Remake, specifically the HD remaster on PS4, what a phenomenal game. The base game itself on GameCube was a masterpiece. The HD remaster is truly just an HD remaster. They didn't change a lot about the base game, because they really didn't need to, because the base game is just that good. This is a must play in my opinion. This is pinnacle Resident Evil. Top, #1. A lot of people say Resident Evil 4 is the best. Some people argue Resident Evil 7 as well. I did see that discourse when Resident Evil 7 was released. People did start saying that this was the best Resident Evil, but you can't go wrong with the original Mansion, man. It's just amazing. I have talked about Resident Evil in previous videos as well, if you want to go back and watch my collection videos and all of that. But yeah, it's a phenomenal game. Strong recommendation. The strongest recommendation that I can give. Wolf Among Us next. This is a recommend. This is a recommend, and I'm only putting this here because there is another Telltale game that we will be going over later on, and I'm just comparing that to the other Telltale game. This is still a good recommendation. This is still a good recommendation. The Platinum Trophy itself is really easy. If it's a Telltale game, it's gonna have a really easy platinum, just a trophy list in general. It's just going to be really easy. If you haven't played this already, play it now so that you are up to date with the story, and you can fully appreciate The Wolf Among Us 2. And The Wolf Among Us 2, if it's anything like the first one, then it's going to be peak. So yeah, it's a recommend. It's a recommend. Okay, hot take coming in. Control. On YouTube, so many people love this game. I have so many problems with this game. It's a mid. It's such an average game, guys. I'm so sorry. But like the people really like the gameplay of this game, but there's a point in time though where the gameplay loop just gets boring. It gets boring after like a couple of hours. Like after 4 hours, when you have most of your mainline abilities, it just gets boring, man. The story, it doesn't grab me. I do like experimental storytelling, but this wasn't it, man. And it was abstract. I like abstract stuff, but it just doesn't give me a reason to care about this world. The collectibles, I thought the collectibles would have actually saved the story, but most of the collectibles um are kind of like FBI redacted files. So when you're trying to piece together the lore, they redact key information, and I do understand that's part of the appeal of the lore, that it doesn't spoon feed you. I totally get that, but I was just trying my hardest just to really really like this game from a story perspective, and the game just kept on giving me roadblocks and just kept on stonewalling me, and it's like, oh come on, I just want to love your game, because I love the brutalism, I love the architecture, the level design is really cool, um the world is cool to a certain extent. The gameplay is not there. The characters, don't even get me started with Jessie. Jessie is so annoying as a character. The creative decision on having her monologue literally every single conversation she has in the game, that was so annoying. That was so annoying. If the monologues actually provided something fruitful for thinking about, it would have been fine. But 9 times out of 10, she has this inner monologue, and it doesn't provide any useful feeling or useful thought, and it just completely derails the conversation, and it loses its rhythm. And that was such a glaring issue to me. And there was one particularly interesting conversation, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I was literally on the edge of my seat. It's like, oh, right, like, okay, what's going to happen? And then she just butts in with her inner monologue, and I literally shout at the screen. I'm just like, no, Jesse, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear your opinion about this right now. Let's just let it unfold and let them start talking more. Yeah, mid. Big old mid. Yeah, I did 100%. I did actually 100% this game. I did all of the DLC as well. Arguably, the DLC is actually better than the base game. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's mid. It's truly mid. It's the definition of mid, in my opinion. Tekken 7 next. An actual good game. Now, I said earlier that with Street Fighter 5, I wouldn't recommend this game to non-fighting game players. With Tekken 7, however, this is just a very good competitive and casual game. If you are not into your fighting games, you will still be able to do really well in this game. It's just very casual. It's just a very casual kind of friendly, casual game. Pick up and play. You can try and get good if you want to. But there's actually not much pressure for the platinum to get to that extremely high level. I would say strong recommendation. It's got a really good story as well, and just in general, the gameplay is sick, the story's sick, the characters are cool. Yeah, strong recommendation. Borderlands the pre-sequel. Okay, so out of all of the Borderlands games I've basically played all of them. I'm pretty sure I've played all of them. So I've played the first one, I've played the second one, I've played the third one, and I have played Borderlands the pre-sequel. Out of all of them, this is one of the weaker ones. The platinum itself was a bit of a grind. I'm not gonna lie. The trophy list, it was fine until Challenger. that particular trophy, that was very grindy. And the Claptrap specific trophy that you have to experience all of the EXEs, the Fault Hunter modes. Yeah, not particularly great. And there was another miscellaneous one that could have been really awkward if you didn't know from the guide how to do it. It was complete a particular mission with a party of 4 in co-op. And it was a reference to Ghostbusters. So yeah, but man, I managed to look up how to do that trophy, and that was fine. But overall, naturally, if you're a Borderlands fan, I would recommend this. But if you're a Borderlands fan anyway, you have probably already played this. If if you haven't played a Borderlands game yet, I wouldn't start with this one. I would probably start with basically any of the other ones. So it's mid. I still enjoyed myself with this game. The platinum itself kind of affected things a bit negatively, but overall, it's mid. Goat Simulator. I think this is so funny that I'm gonna put this at recommend. It's technically better than like the AAA games. I think that's so funny. But Goat Simulator, it's a bonkers game. It's kind of a turn off your brain and just have a laugh kind of game. The ragdoll physics are hilarious. This is a really quick platinum. However, there is one particular trophy where you have to play Flappy Goat, and if you're familiar with Flappy Bird, it's basically the exact same thing. I thought people were exaggerating over the difficulty of that particular trophy, but they were on to something, man. This is quite a difficult trophy, the Flappy Goat one, because the minigame itself, the hit detection is completely fucked. It's not good at all. So you will have to probably grind for that one trophy. This took me maybe an afternoon, and maybe part of an evening. So it wasn't too long. I still need to do the DLC, and I'm actually really excited to do the DLC. So yeah, this is a recommend. It's a recommend. I would say when this game is on sale, get this game. I know Goat Simulator 3 is about to come out very soon. So if you want to get on the Goat Simulator hype, then yeah, I would recommend this game. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. This is another game that I really wanted to like. I platinumed this. I got this through PS Plus, and it's bad. It's bad. It's a Smash Brothers clone. You have to complete arcade mode a bunch of times with basically all of the characters. The online was a little bit grindy as well. I will have to say that I will not this is borderline a void, just because the online trophies will basically be unobtainable, because I can't see this online being active for much longer. What I mean by that is the player base. People will stop playing this sooner rather than later. So overall it is an easy platinum, but the online, if you wait too long to do the online trophies, this will become really, really difficult, and you will probably need to boost. So yeah, just a public service announcement there. Again, overall though, it's a bad game. I wanted to like it, but I just couldn't. We're actually nearing the end already. I feel like we've gone pretty quick. But actually, judging from my recording time, I've actually took quite a bit of time. So yep. Nonetheless, Nitro Plus Blasters. Now, one of the barriers to this game is it is technically a waifu game. I was hesitant as well, but this is a but if you can look past the waifu part, this is genuinely a really, really fun fighting game. You don't necessarily need to be very, very good at it to get the platinum. It's totally doable. There's guides on how to do the easy variants of the combos that you need to do, and the controls itself is quite simple. So but it's simple, but when you get to a high level and when you get to competitive play, there is some really nasty stuff, like nasty in like a good way, like sick stuff. So I would say strong recommendation. I will eventually order these. I might order these soon actually. But in the meantime, let's go into the next game, Danger Scavenger. I'm expecting a lot of people not to know this game. I got this game for under £1. It was like 80p. It was like 70 or 80p. Um, and for what it's worth and how much game time I got with this game, it's a strong recommendation. There is one caveat though, and I wouldn't even say that's a caveat, but just another public service announcement. There is some technical issues with this game, specifically with slowdown. It's a twin stick shooter, so when there's a lot of stuff happening on screen, it will slow down. But I don't even necessarily think that that's a bad thing, because when the game slows down, I just look at it as like a slow-mo kind of thing. So when the game slows down, it kind of makes it easier to dodge stuff when it gets really, really hectic. So I don't even see that as necessarily a bad thing, but I just have to say it, there is some performance issues. And there were, I think there were maybe one or two times that I had bugs happen, but I can't remember it being game breaking. It was just a little bit inconvenient. So but nonetheless, for literally under £1, it's a really good game to do. One last thing about this game. If you look at the trophy list, it does look grindy from a surface level, especially for like the kills and getting certain types of kills, and just getting a certain amount of kills in general. You can do that just through playthroughs. And naturally, there's a lot of enemies on each level. So it's actually not that hard. If you look at my PlayStation profile, you will see when I got those trophies, and you can see how long it technically took me to get, each trophy. And it didn't take me long at all. It took, yeah, so this isn't a grubby game either. People thought that this was going to be a very, very easy game. There is some skill involved. So, yeah, it's just a really fun game. Honestly, a strong recommendation. South Park: The Fractured Butthole. Straight into the strong recommendation. This game's hilarious. It kind of it kind of plays on RPG tropes and turn-based, tropes, and yeah, it's genuinely just a really, really fun game. No missable trophies except for one, which is play the game, finish the game with a black character and on Mastermind difficulty. I would actually recommend playing the game first time with those two characteristics. The Mastermind difficulty isn't that difficult, and when you play on normal, I actually think the game is too easy on normal. So I would say just play on Mastermind on your first playthrough if you're familiar with RPGs, and just play as a black character, and you will literally be able to get every single trophy in one playthrough. This is a really fun game to platinum, and just to play in general. It's fantastic. It's my favorite South Park game. Resident Evil Village is next. This is going to be another strong recommendation. Again, people have problems with this game, but it's just my Resident Evil fanboy in me, man. I just love Resident Evil. I loved Village. I loved the environments. I loved the antagonists as well. Now, the major problem that I have with this game is the fact that Lady Dimitrescu, she is she's not in the game that long. So I wish you could explore the Castle Dimitrescu more, but because that, in my opinion, that's the best area in the game. Nonetheless, it's still a very, very good game. You do need to play through the game a good couple of times, but it's pretty fun. It's easy enough as well. There is mercenaries mode, and there's trophies for getting specific rankings for every mercenaries level. People were complaining about that trophy and saying that it was too hard, but naturally it's mercenaries mode. It is kind of like trial and error and mastering each level. So I found that to be really, really fulfilling. Some people didn't feel the same, but I thought I felt really fulfilled when I got really good high scores. And I was just plowing through all of the levels. So yeah, yeah, still a strong recommendation. Okay, right, Patapon. This is one of my childhood games back on PSP days, and I revisited this game to specifically get the platinum. The trophy list is fucked in this game. Too many buggy trophies, too much of a grind, and it's not worth it. I did talk about this game in depth in one of my videos, so I'll link it up there if you want to hear me rant. But at the end of that rant in that video, I said that I never wanted to speak about this game again. I've obviously went back on my word. But yeah, I think this is an avoid. Like even casually, you might experience soft locks because when I did my second playthrough, I did my second playthrough because I got buggy trophies. On my second playthrough, I actually experienced a soft lock. So even casually, you might get soft locks and hard crashes and all of that kind of stuff. So this game did crash on me I think twice as well, so like a hard crash blue screen, so yeah, no, just a big nope. Avoid this game. Soul Calibur 6, this is very similar to Tekken 7 in the fact that you don't have to be super high level. It's another very casual fighting game to get the platinum. There are some online trophies, but not a lot to be honest. It's totally doable, legit. And yeah, the story modes, they were a little bit grindy, kind of the same types of fights, especially with the Libra of Soul mode where you play as your creator character. That can be a bit tiresome because you have to do a minimum of 2 playthroughs. The second playthrough for me was really quick because I was only doing the main missions, and I managed to complete the game as evil, so that was fine. But yeah, this is still a strong recommendation, guys. This is still a strong recommendation. If you're not into fighting games, give these fighting games a try, especially in the strong recommendation. Like you've got Fighting EX Layer, you've got Tekken 7 Nitro Plus Blasters, you've got Soul Calibur 6. Like those are truly games that you can play even if you're a big noob at fighting games. So yeah. We're on to the last 3 games, guys. Walking Dead. Okay, so I mentioned when I was talking about Wolf Among Us that there is going to be another Telltale game. And yep, this is going in strong recommendation. You literally get all of the seasons of The Walking Dead in one package. This is a no-brainer for anyone who hasn't played the Walking Dead games. I think it's hard to recommend if you've already experienced every single season and episode. To get the platinum, you have to play the game in full. So you have to complete every single episode from every single season. And that's fine if you've not played the game before. But if you've played the game before and you don't really fancy replaying the game, then it's hard to recommend. But if you haven't played the game, yeah, it is a strong recommendation. Extremely easy platinum as well. You just literally have to play the game and complete it. So extremely easy. No collectibles. It's literally just completing the game. So yeah. Right. We've got Erica next. Okay. So I was kind of hyped to play this game. I got this game on PS Plus, and I looked at the videos, like the video when you go onto the game page and how you can see like a snippet of the game. I was actually really excited to play an FMV game. It's kind of similar to Telltale. You need to make hard decisions, and you have to um please certain people to get certain endings, and depending on your choices and your exploration options, your choices, that affects endings. There is surprisingly a lot of collectibles in this game, and yeah, you have to replay the game. I think it's a minimum of 5 times. I played this game casually once, so that meant that I had to replay the game 6 times. And like I would say most of the playthroughs, you are watching the exact same cutscenes over and over and over again. It's really tiresome. I had to put myself through this. Uh yeah. Honestly, if you're only looking to platinum this game, I would actually not recommend it. It is really easy following a guide, but it is not very enjoyable at all. And to be honest, the game itself and the story itself, it isn't even that good to begin with. It's not on the same level as a Telltale game or even the other FMV games that I've watched on YouTube. It's just not particularly great, and it was really disappointing. So, with all of that in mind, the trophy list not being that great, replaying the game 5 times and rewatching the same cutscenes over and over, not being able to skip the cutscenes, that's a huge one. Because like if they knew that people were going to replay the game, they should have made that an option. I can totally understand the first playthrough not being able to skip cutscenes, but if you've got a game that has the same cutscenes playing on each playthrough, surely there should be an option to skip, but it doesn't. This will take you around about maybe like 6 to 8 hours to platinum. So this is a void, honestly. It's super easy, but just the experience itself, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. And the endings, there were only maybe a handful, maybe like one or two mildly interesting endings, but the whole experience itself, nope. I wouldn't recommend it. On to the last one, and this is a complete contrast to Erica, and that's Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Now, people like to talk about games like this as walking simulators. I don't really like using that term. I think it's just a very derogatory kind of term to use just to slap on a game and just say, oh yeah, you just walk. Honestly, I love this narrative and I love this story. The attention to detail in that English kind of village, oh my god, like that is so realistic to England. Yeah, I love it. I love it, and I love their creative, artful decisions with how they portrayed each character in the game. You physically don't see them. You only technically see their energy from before the rapture happens, and like honestly the voice acting as well. Some of the characters and their voice acting can be a little bit funny in a weird way, but honestly, 9 times out of 10, the voice acting is great. And yeah, this is honestly a game that makes you think. I know that's really cliche to say, but honestly, this is actually quite a cool game. The trophy list itself, I do have to say that I had to do 3 playthroughs. You should be able to do this with 2 playthroughs, but one time a trophy bugged on me, and that was specifically the backtracker trophy. So I had to start the game a third time. I had already got all of the other trophies, so I just had to get that one. And that only took me 20 minutes to get from starting a new playthrough. So honestly, an absolutely non-issue. There are a lot of collectibles in the game. I would say start the game fresh with no guides, no spoilers, just experience the game and then go through it with a guide. And I think this is definitely worth the platinum. So, yep, strong recommendation. Strong recommendation. I think this is going to be quite the fun part. I kind of want to order these. I just want to quickly scan. With the strong recommendations, would I change anything here? You know what? I think the main... Oh, see, this is difficult. This is difficult. I think the main two games here, those are the strongest recommendations. Those are like the ordered. Definitely 100% worth it. Buy them right now. All of the other ones are still very strong recommendations. But I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily want to order these now. Now that I'm thinking about it, out of my personal favorite ones, I liked doing. I'm just gonna play around here. Let's do this. I actually liked going for the Nitro Plus. Do I like it more than Medieval? I really like Medieval. Dangerous Scavenger, I think this will be naturally a little bit lower because there's not much of a story to this game, but it's still great gameplay. I loved it for the price as well. It was amazing. Fractured Butthole, this will be naturally a little bit higher. Resident Evil Village. Did I like Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil Village more? I love Resident Evil 7, but the third act of the game was just really bad, in my opinion. Village kind of had the same issue, but I think it had more positives. So, Soul Calibur 6, I want to put this, yeah, I want to put this above Nitro Plus Blasters. Dangerous Scavenger, Walking Dead. I think here is fine. I think here is fine. This is still extremely strong recommendations here. But this is just my personal affinity for these games. I like this order. Yeah, so Resident Evil, Persona 5, Resident Evil 2, Fighting EX Slayer, and etc. I really like them. And basically for everything else, I'm gonna leave that kind of unordered. I would say this is borderline. So Street Fighter 5, I think it's borderline strong recommendation, just because they did a lot of great updates to the game, so it's just a much better game now. But in general, I think it's recommendation because not every person is really into their fighting games. So yes. I think that's it, guys. I think we've just went through all of my 25 platinums, my first 25. You should expect another one of these videos when I hit 50 platinums. I think that's definitely something in the pipeline when I eventually get another 25 platinums. Overall, my first 25, they were no joke, man. A lot of good games, some mediocre, and only 4 bad, and just two bad and 2 awful games. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.